Well, Donald Trump is doing it again. He is already laying the groundwork to claim that the midterms are going to be rigged. He's already laying the groundwork to say that the 2028 election will be rigged, just like he did back in 2020. We're seeing it. We're not surprised. And anyone who is surprised, did you not see this the first time? We've been here before. We have seen this happen. It was early in 2020, maybe even before that he started talking. Well, hell, he talked about it in 2016 for that matter. But in 2020, he really began leading into the election talking about, if I lose, it's rigged. And when he did that, he got everyone believing it, so that when he lost, he could say, hey, see, I told you it was going to be rigged. And they go, oh boy, Trump sure is smart. Trump figured it out. It's like, no, he didn't figure it out. He laid the groundwork to dupe you. And he's doing that again. I'm going to read you this clip here, or this post here that he made over on his Truth Social. And he says this, and this is just him laying the groundwork to say that he's been screwed. What's worse, NBA players cheating at cards and probably much else, or the Democrats cheating on elections? The 2020 presidential election being rigged and stolen is a far bigger scandal, he puts in all caps. Look what happened to our country when a crooked moron became our president. We now know everything. So he claims that he knows everything here, but there's still no evidence. And by the way, he's never provided a shred of evidence that the 2020 election was stolen. We'll talk more about that in just a second. But now he says we know everything. We know it all. And I hope the DOJ pursues this with as much gusto as benefiting the biggest scandal in American history. If not, it will happen again, including the upcoming midterms. No mail-in or early voting. Yes to voter ID. Watch how totally dishonest the California prop vote is. Millions of ballots being shipped. Get smart Republicans before it's too late. And again, he did this to go ahead and set the stage for I got screwed. And he's doing this because he realizes that he's screwed. When you see 7 million people on their day off come together to protest you and all of the dictator bullshit that you're putting out onto the world, and he sees that, then he knows it's not looking good for him. And they will sit there and they will deny it to the end of the world. They will never face up to the music. They will never take any accountability. They'll never take any responsibility. They'll never look in the mirror and say, hey, our policies are hurting the American people and our policies are causing the American people to take to the streets to protest. They'll never say that. Instead, it's all a rigged game. And then when it rolls around and they get dog walked in the midterms, they will come out screaming that it was all rigged. And now people like Mike Lindell, who's already had to cough up money for defamation and already been proven to be a liar, he's one of the people in the Pentagon giving you your information now. He's one of the people now that's got a front row seat. So what happened was Jesse James got control of the train, and he's brought the entire James gang on now to run the railroad. And that's what it is that we're seeing. We're seeing the criminals now that robbed the bank be in charge of the bank. And they're telling everybody how to watch out for the other criminals. It's so sickening to watch. And that's why going in to the last election, we all realized what we were up against, and we tried so hard for so long to drive that point home to people that we cannot let this man anywhere near a position of power because he never had an intention of leaving it the first go around. And I will always drive that point home. Donald Trump never intended to leave in 2020. And the only reason that he ended up leaving is because he had people around him who did keep him in check. I'm not a fan of Mike Pence. I don't like Mike Pence. Wouldn't vote for Mike Pence if he ran for president tomorrow. But Mike Pence on that day, on January 20th, did what he was supposed to do. And what happened? Donald Trump had followers outside with a noose chanting, "Hang Mike Pence." And Donald Trump to this day says that Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what needed to be done on that day. So, folks, when we go into these midterms, how many of you can confidently say that Donald Trump will accept the results of the midterms, walk up to a podium and say, well, the American people have spoken, and we're going to work with the Democrats to make this country better? Do you think he will say that? How many of you honestly believes that that's what Donald Trump will say when that day happens? No one believes that. And I guarantee you his most devout MAGA followers deep down don't believe that he would ever do that. I remember when Obama lost the House during his term, and I remember when he came out and was like, well, I'm humbled. I remember that moment. I remember him saying, well, I'm humbled. And the American people have spoken, and we will work with Republicans to make this country better. And that's what presidents in the past have done when they've lost the House. But Donald Trump realizes that when he loses the House this time and he loses the majority, then they're going to start holding him accountable for all the criminal bullshit that he's been doing, that we've been calling out here on the channel. And that so many people have been calling out and saying, hey, this dude is in there and he is running over top of the Constitution. Everybody told us, oh, don't worry, it won't be so bad. They won't let him do it. And we said, they've already gave him permission to do it. They've gave him immunity. You can't say to Jax Taylor from the Sons of Anarchy, you have immunity and charming, and expect him to just take a picnic with Tara. Okay? You can't expect that to happen. You tell a guy like that he's got immunity and he can do any damn thing he wants to, then he's going to go after any damn person he wants to do. And that's what we're seeing Trump do. Going after Jack Smith and Letitia James and everyone who ever tried to hold him accountable for his crimes. Now he's just trying to pull stuff out of his ass and say, now it's me getting my revenge on them. And how is that revenge on them doing anything for his followers? How is that revenge on them doing anything for his cult? They were all about cheaper eggs. They were all about bringing down inflation. They were all about bringing down the grocery bill. They were all about putting America first. But now we see him giving $40 billion to Argentina. We see him getting these jets from Qatar. We see him building a ballroom. And again, when we talk about that ballroom, we also got to talk about the bunker underneath that he's renovating. That's not somebody that's going to leave anytime soon. The bunker's under the ballroom. No one can see through just how outrageous that truly is. He's going to put a ballroom over his bunker. So if they're in the middle of a party, they can just all run to the bunker if need be. Because he realizes that people are tired of his shit. And there's a lot of people out there that will say, yeah, but Brando, he won the popular vote. He won all the swing states. He's popular. Doesn't matter if you win an election and then when you get elected, turn and do a complete 180 and go against everything you ever said. Well, first of all, you've already pissed off all the people that voted against you. Anyone that voted against Donald Trump has not become a fan of him here lately. And then the people like Bryce Mitchell that we covered here on the channel, the UFC fighter, he sees through it. He calls it out. He calls bullshit on it. There's people that says, hey, we voted for this guy thinking he was going to drain the swamp, and now we realize he is the swamp. So it's just so crazy to me that we're here. And I have never in my lifetime seen a more obvious train coming right straight at us. You couldn't stand in the middle of a railroad track like this and see a train coming any clearer than Donald Trump was coming right straight at us. And we were over here saying, just move out of the way. Just step out of the way, please. Do not sit here and let this man hijack our country. Do not let him have a hold of our Constitution again, because he will shred it. And everybody just stood there and let the train splatter them all over the tracks. And they get mad at us for pointing it out. And when this is all over, no matter how it ends, I can tell you one thing that you can rest assured will happen. The Trump supporters will be madder at us for calling them out than they will be when they do wake up to the fact that Donald Trump screwed them. There won't be a moment where they come give us a hug around the neck and say, boy, Brando, you tried to warn us, man. Thanks. That ain't going to happen. They will always hate my guts because I was sitting here while they were trying to feel good about themselves, pointing out that you're feeling good about yourself for all the wrong reasons. There's nothing for you to feel good about here. You might have felt warm and fuzzy inside when you blew up your Bud Light, but it did nothing for you. Maybe when you lit your Carhartt on fire, that might have made you feel pretty good, but it did nothing for you. All the culture wars you fought, you didn't go to Target, you weren't shopping there to start with. You didn't drink Starbucks to start with. I could sit here and go on and on and on and on. And they went to bat harder for Cracker Barrel than they will the Constitution of the United States. Brett Meidas posted on Twitter about how that they put up a bigger fight over the Cracker Barrel logo than they did the East Wing of the White House. They don't care. They only use these talking points when it benefits them. So when it's a Confederate soldier who was a slave owner, they want to glorify that person and keep that statue and don't remove our history. But when it's the East Wing of the White House, well, everybody does it. Everybody does it. Name one that did it during a government shutdown. And also a ballroom. A ballroom. I wish people could really see. Maybe one day I'll just get out and drive the roads of East Tennessee and show you where we're at, okay? Show you the type of town that we're in. If you blinked, you would miss it, okay? It's forgotten Appalachia. That's where we're at. And you drive through it and you say to yourself, When are these people ever going to see a ballroom? When will they ever see the inside of a ballroom? They won't. But they'll see the inside of an unemployment office. They'll see the inside of a food stamp office. And that food stamp office, that unemployment office, that's where they will be long before they end hell of partying with him in that ballroom. But they want to punch down at the people who's getting benefits when they themselves are getting them too, but they won't tell you that part.